live? Is it on? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Hello? Well, I will start and I hope... okay. Now I know how to double check. Okay, thank you. All fine. I'm very glad that it is all fine. Okay. Yeah. So how is the sound? Can you hear me? Can you see me? All fine. Thank you. Scott, hello, nice to meet you. Yes, I like my new camera very much. Basically, I already filmed with the new camera a bit already, and I'm very glad that I'm having it. Thanks one more time to my patrons and Patreon who donated me the money. Steve, hello, you are one of my patrons. So thank you, I like my new camera very much. Yes, okay, so let's start. So my name is Olena. I'm a tour guide in Kyiv and Chernobyl, and I started this YouTube channel last summer to tell people, to tell the world about Ukraine and particularly about Kyiv and Chernobyl, because I am a tour guide in Kyiv and Chernobyl. And I've started doing some small videos about quarantine measures in Ukraine, and it turned out that there is a huge demand in the world about this information. And looks like these kind of the videos are very popular. They are so far the most popular on my YouTube channel. So I'm trying to satisfy this interest, and I'm giving more information about these quarantine rules. So right now that is like the new format for me, the live stream. That is my second one. That is the second live stream here. The first one was from Pripyat. So there were some internet disruptions over there. And I hope right now there will be no internet disruptions, because I'm sitting just near the Wi-Fi router in my apartment at my working place. Here is my program where I edit the videos that I'm filming for you. Like this. Are you using the new camera? No, I don't know how to live stream using this DJI action camera. So I'm using right now my old mobile phone, Samsung M31, and most of my videos are filmed on this mobile phone device. Okay, so let's come closer to the topic. Yes, Edward, nice to meet you. Glad to see you here. Thank you. Okay, closer to the topic. Today is the last day of the lockdown in Ukraine, of the so-called lockdown. Because it was not really locked down, nobody was really locked down here, like in this, in the meaning like you understand it over there in the West. Because basically the borders of Ukraine were open all the time. Hello, Mr. Smith. So the borders in Ukraine were closed last year twice. In spring, when it's everything has just started, all these quarantine measures, and we had a very strict quarantine here in Ukraine, very strict lockdown. It started in March. Like even children were not allowed to play on the playgrounds. Nothing was working. Public transport was not working. People were not allowed to go outside to the parks, only if you had a dog, and there should be not more than 2 people per one dog. That was quite funny. Finally, in June, the borders were reopened, and the government started to impose the new rules how to allow people to enter Ukraine, like the foreigners. And in the very beginning, it was a big mess, because the government was only, adapting to the new situation. Ukraine as a country is not very digitalized, so it was quite hard to impose the new rules that are connected with different online services. That is why we had a lot of mess about it. Right now, the things settled quite well. Yeah. Another time when the borders were closed, that was September, when in Ukraine we have Uman where we have the tombs of very holy people for Hasidism, and kind of each September we are having here the holiday for Jewish people. Many Jewish pilgrims are coming to Ukraine, and the government all of a sudden decided just to close the borders just in case, not to let anyone to Ukraine in this period of time. That was a very big and bad surprise for everyone in September when the borders were closed all of a sudden for a couple of weeks. So starting from October, everything looks much better, looks all right. Because all the new measures that the government is imposing, the government is saying in advance what they are going to do and why. Like, you can criticize the decisions of the government, but at least today they are more comprehensive and you know how to prepare yourself to these measures. Now, in January, we have, they said, okay, in January you will have the winter lockdown, the winter holidays. And we had kind of lockdown, just schools weren't working, restaurants were not working, but still the basic infrastructure, it was working. And like me, being a Ukrainian here, I didn't feel a lot that like we had kind of we were locked down. Stefan is asking, is there any new quarantine rules? Yes, so basically starting from tomorrow, we have the new rules, but they are the old new rules. So we are coming back to the rules, to the orange zone quarantine rules that we had here in Ukraine in December, before this January lockdown. Yeah, and I will, little by little, step by step, I will explain you what are these new rules. And for the moment, let me try to answer the questions that I'm having. Okay, and I'm starting from the end. Edward Solomon, PCR test in Ukraine airport. Can I pay with credit card dollars or do I need Ukraine currency? Basically, as far as I know, you can pay with the credit card. In the very beginning, with the credit card only. This is how you could pay for this PCR test at the airport. Maybe today they accept cash, but I'm not sure. But 100% yes, you can pay with the credit card. Rahul Kumar is asking, hi ma'am, kindly let me know about embassy, if the embassies are working. I don't know, because it depends on which embassy do you need, from which country you are, and the best way for you is just to Google it in the internet, like embassy of, I don't know, India, Pakistan in Ukraine, and it will be written over there, like, do they work or not, and there will be some contacts. So if you need some of this particular information, well, I can Google it for you, but you can Google it yourself as well. Do the same thing, yeah, to have this direct information. Yes, so I want to go Schengen. Okay, Ukraine is not in Schengen zone, so I can't answer you the questions about Schengen zone. It's not the topic, I'm sorry. Okay, what is the current perception of the government's rules and the way they are dealing with COVID amongst the Ukrainian people? Thank you for this question, Simon. So the attitude is as following. Many people are criticizing the rules. The problem is the government was imposing like a certain rule. Some of the rules were not really possible to follow. And people like understood that, okay, like these rules just have to be there. It's just, you know, the deal of the government to make the rule, and we like pretend that we follow the rule, but we know that in fact we just will not follow the rule. This is how it works. Yes, like for example, during this lockdown in January, the gyms were closed. And it's like a little bit crazy because all the beer shops and supermarkets and lots of alcohol is available, but you can't go to the gyms to do some sports. Yes, so for example, like I will confess that basically we were taking our kids to the gym for kids illegally, secretly, like partisans. Yeah, because like we thought that, well, it's not kind of rule that we want to follow. So the people, the attitude is like this. But Simon, don't tell anyone, okay? Okay, that I broke some of the quarantine rules. Okay, live streaming from the zone was always going to be difficult, but you did it very well. Thank you very much, Simon. Okay, looks like so far I answered the questions. During the lockdown, are rent and bills paid? Yes. I mean, we have a lot of online services where you can pay online for different bills, and basically the post office is working, the banks are working, so there is no reason why you can't pay your bills. So immediately this lockdown is over, are schools going to open fully? Yes, the schools are going to open fully. Tomorrow my daughter goes to school, my son goes to kindergarten. Now they will attend sports classes legally. The musical school will be not online but offline, like real. So all schools, kindergartens, educational facilities will start working starting from tomorrow. But as for institutes, colleges, not like secondary school, there should be not more than 20 people in the class. And if more than 50% of people are ill, are having COVID, in this case, the class will be closed. Like not the whole school, not the whole college, but the class with these cases. But as I understand, like if kindergarten and like elementary school, they will be attending the classes. The high school, the colleges, universities, for them right now it is like more comfortable to study online using Zoom conference, different internet classes. So maybe that will be just the decision of each particular educational class, facility, how they gonna study offline or online. Okay, ma'am, want to meet you, can be it possible? It's my pleasure to have meet you. You are always welcome to hire me as your tour guide to book a tour in Kyiv or Chernobyl with me. If I have had the vaccine in the UK, does it make any difference on arrival to Ukraine? Steve, no. Unfortunately, so far the vaccine doesn't make any change like at all. So if you even had a vaccine, that is like your personal situation. It doesn't change anything. The rules are still the same. If you're coming from the red zone and the UK is in the red zone, you still need to have a travel insurance and a negative PCR test with you made like 48 hours before arrival. Or alternatively, you do the test upon arrival. In this case, you go to self-isolation and wait for the results of the test in Ukraine. But that makes things more complicated. So for the moment, the vaccines are not changing anything. Maybe it will change with the time, but you see how slow is Ukraine in terms of digitalizations and changing all these, rules to make it easier to come. So we'll see. We'll see. So, okay, wishing after vaccination can throw customs zone in airport. Didn't understand honestly what exactly do you mean. But I think vaccination will change the things maybe this year. As far as I know, the adaptive quarantine has been prolonged till March the 31st, hasn't it? Thank you to Darian for your question. Even if you know the answer, you just support me. Yes, so this adaptive quarantine that is starting tomorrow will take place at least till the end of February, as far as I know. They think maybe to prolong it till March, but it looks like it will be prolonged for the unknown period of time. Okay, what else? I have been stuck in Ukraine over a year, need a holiday. Okay, I would like more information on getting the PCR test before leaving my home country. I think it is getting the results 70 hours before I leave. Is that correct? Okay, Huzaifa, Martin, I answered about the universities. So they study if they have less than 20 people in the class, but I think most of them decided to go online, not to meet like physically. Yeah, and now about these PCR test results that you need to have when you are leaving Ukraine, not when you're entering, but when you are leaving Ukraine. So in Ukraine, we have very many private laboratories where you can do the PCR test. The average cost of the test is 1,500 hryvnias. You can find it cheaper, like for 1,000 hryvnias. There are really many good private laboratories where you can do the test very fast, and the result will be ready like soon. They say 1-2 days, but in fact the guy who did the test recently, I took him to the airport, he received his results in just 4 hours after he did the test. So I mean, just within maximum 2 days you have the result. The average time is 1 day after you do the test, you have the result. You receive it on your email. If you need to print it, you can print it like wherever you can find a place. What will be the perfect kind of situation is when you, like there is a list of the laboratories that are presented at the Bristol airport. Yes, so you choose that laboratory, but their office in Kyiv. You do the test in Kyiv 1 day before you are leaving Ukraine. Then when you go to Bristol airport, you go to this laboratory in Bristol airport and they give you the printed result of your PCR test, and you have it in your email, in your telephone, and you have it printed on the paper as well. Okay. Will, sorry. So you are discussing everything between yourselves. That's cool. That's cool. Okay, wishing after vaccination can throw customs zone in airport. Sounds like Ukrainians are doing the same as people here in the UK. Okay, the police is giving fines that equal about 7,000 hryvnias. You see, here we have very high fines as well, twice higher than you are having. But I think that police are just closing their eyes. If you've seen one of my last videos about Epiphany Hall celebration when people were swimming in the river, that was lockdown. In the church, there should not be more than like there should be social distancing between people, like 2 meters of social distance, 5 square meters per person inside of the cathedral, but nobody was following the rule. The same goes for these public holidays, like near the Christmas tree. There were much more people than there should be, but policemen were not stopping people on the street. In general, people follow the quarantine rule. The main quarantine rule right now is that you have to wear a mask inside of the public building and inside of the public transport. Outside on the street, you don't need to wear the mask. And people are following this rule. And another thing, you are always asked to wash your hands and to keep the social distancing. And that is like different people follow this rule in different way. Okay, yeah, that is true that I own Volkswagen Polo car. Yeah, and I can take around people for some money. Yeah, this is how I earn my living. How long can I stay in Ukraine without a residence permit? Well, it depends on where are you from. So most of the European countries, you have no visa policy, and the US as well, and you can stay in Ukraine for 90 days during 180 days. Yeah, 90 days out of 180 days. This is how long you can stay without a residence permit. If you have residence permit, yeah, you can stay longer. We'll continue cartonation. Yes, I think it will. Thanks for a lot of answering my questions about universities. You're welcome. Edward, thank you for calling me a responsible person and advising my services. Wish they had rapid testing, takes 15 minutes. Yes, that would be great. I wish coronavirus didn't exist at all and we didn't need these tests at all. Hi Elena, how far is Slavoutich from Kyiv? Tiderian, how far is Slavutich from Kyiv? Can you help me? It is in Chernihiv Oblast. Slavutich is the city that is the youngest city in Ukraine. It was built instead of Pripyat after the Chernobyl nuclear accident happened. That should be like up to 200 kilometers away from Kyiv to the north, as far as I remember. Will you now be allowed to take family to restaurant? Okay. Restaurants. How passport control? Do you know anybody there at Borispil? Do you help in passport control? No, guys, I don't help in passport control. I don't know anyone at Borispil airport to say like, psst, psst, and there is a guy coming, so just let him in. No, I don't. You can't ask me for this kind of services. Can I study and work in Ukraine? Yes, you can, but you need to have these special documents. 19 kilometers, but Slavutich is in Kyiv region. 191 kilometers. Yeah, so about 200. Slavutich is in Kyiv region. Okay. Thank you for specification. Well, Slavutich is in Kyiv region, but this part of Kyiv region is situated in the middle of Chernihiv region. Yes, so like this. Okay, let's talk about the topic. Yes, so we are already 20 minutes online, but yeah, let's talk. I've prepared, guys. I printed my speech here. So starting from tomorrow, what rules we're gonna have? First of all, the borders remain open. Yes, still you can visit Ukraine if it's not that easy as before Corona, but it is possible, and people who need it or just want it, it is possible to visit Ukraine. The rules how to do it, they are still the same. They have never changed since October, and later I will probably repeat what are these rules, how you can enter Ukraine. Now, the second, all the checkpoints on the ground, at the airports, all that is working. All air connection, train connection, public transport, it is working. There are some limitations. For example, in the bus, in the train, in Marshrutka, there should not be any standing passengers. So if there are 20 seats in the bus, there should be 20 people in the bus. Still, my kind advice to you as foreigners coming to Ukraine is to use more taxi than public transport, because it is safer and more convenient, and it's not that expensive here. But I kindly ask you to use only official taxi, like that has a telephone number that you call and they come, or Uber, Uklon, these online mobile applications. Don't catch taxi on the street. That is not safe. We never do it ourselves in Ukraine. What else? So when you come, what you need to know, that you need to wear the mask inside of public building, inside of the public transport. On the street, you can take your mask off. That is not a problem. But if you feel more comfortable in the mask, you can still be with your mask. The hotels are working in Ukraine. Hostels are not. But I know that some of the hostels now call themselves hotels, and they are working. The way how to book the place to live, that is as well online, like Airbnb, Booking.com. These are the best services to book a hotel or an apartment in Kyiv. My advice is to book a hotel apartment somewhere in the city center, or at least closer to the subway station if you have a limited budget. Now, if you're a tourist, you are probably interested in museums. So starting from tomorrow, museums are open. They have limitations. There should be at least, where are my museums? And restaurants. Okay, museums are working, but not all of the museums. For example, Chornobyl Museum will not reopen, simply because it is bad business now, because they have not many visitors. So they decided we just will not open, because it doesn't make any sense. But many good museums they are working, churches, cathedrals, some of them are museums, some of them are operational churches, and these objects are like the landmarks of Ukraine. They are working, and you can visit these places, like for example St. Sophia Cathedral, the Saint Lavra, Pcr place, that is all open. Of course, you want to visit some restaurants, pubs, bars, cafes to try some Ukrainian meals, Ukrainian food, and Ukrainian drinks. That will be working starting from tomorrow, but the restaurants will be working starting from 7 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock in the evening. So, like the last time when you can order something will be 10 p.m. And after 10 p.m., another hour, that will be the hour where you can still sit inside, have your food, enjoy your meal, but you can't order anything else anymore. But the supermarkets, we have 24/7 supermarkets, food stores, they are working all the time. Everything will be available now, because during this lockdown you couldn't buy like non-essential goods like socks, for example, but now everything will be available and no problem, you can buy it. By the way, alcohol, you can buy it, you can't buy alcohol in Ukrainian supermarkets after 10 p.m. just in case if you didn't know. How it works in the restaurant. So you have to enter inside wearing a mask. You choose a table, you make the order, and when they bring you something, in this case you take off your mask and enjoy the things that you have ordered. According to the rules, there should be no more than 4 people sitting at one table, and there should be at least 2 meters of distance between the tables. That depends a lot on the place. Do they respect this rule or not? Some of them are very strict on this, some of them just don't care, and these tables are situated very close to each other. Takeaways and deliveries, they work 24/7. I mean, different restaurants now provide these services. If you experience problems with ordering your food using Uber Eats, for example, well, try some pizza or sushi. That is the online delivery service that was popular in Ukraine even before Corona, so the guys know how to do it. So you always can take pizza, and as well Mark Drive in McDonald's is always an option. That was an advertisement. Well, a bit of disappointment for you probably that nightclubs, they are not working. They are not allowed to work legally. But as you can imagine, if even sport classes for children worked here illegally, of course, nightclubs, some of the nightclubs, they work illegally too. And one of my colleagues is a charming girl who is the big expert in all these illegally working nightclubs. So if you have this particular request, I will give you her contacts. Okay. And educational institutions, I already told you, like the classes, like schools, kindergartens, elementary schools, they are working, but universities, institutes, it depends on the educational facility itself. Gyms are back to work, you can do sports, cinemas, theaters, opera houses, they can reopen, they are back to service, but only 50% of the seats will be occupied, which is very good. Basically, I've been to the theater before lockdown, it's very convenient. You just have one seat that is you can available, and next to it another seat where you can't take a seat. So they control how many people there are in the theaters. Okay, that is more or less the situation that we are having starting from tomorrow. Let me see. Opera house or circus, all of it. Opera houses and circuses, cinemas, theaters, these kind of places, they work with 50% of the seats of visitors occupied. I understand that there are a lot of back doors into places supposedly closed. Yes, Edward, you are right. That exists here, and business, the owners of such places, they have very big fines. Sometimes they are lucky and they don't have it. But that's a big problem really for the small business here, because they are just had to close themselves, and that's it, to continue to pay rent. The government did not really compensate to them anything. So a lot of the small businesses, they became bankrupt, and they are trying to survive. Some of them are taking more risk and they work illegally. Some of them, they don't take the risk and they just close the doors and just become bankrupt. In general, financial situation here is not very good now. Tourism is suffering a lot. Because we are depend a lot on these, foreign visitors. We'll see how it goes. For the moment, the situation is bad for the small business because the government is not really compensating their loss. Okay. Heard that some clubs in Odessa are said to be racist. I mean, they are choosy on the entrance. We, in some clubs, there exists kind of the face control, and when I was a student, I was not always passing this face control because I was never, a fancy girl, like looking sexy. So face control in some of the clubs that exist, but I don't think that control is racist. They just racist in terms they see, are you sexy or not? Will you spend a lot of money or not? Yeah, this is how they control it, but it's not everywhere. Personally, I choose to stay at the Hotel Ukraine because of its more recent history during the period of Maidan. Also, if you're lucky, the view of Independence Square from the hotel balcony is great. Simon, 100% agree with you. By the way, do you know that on the place of this Hotel Ukraine, like 100 years ago, there was the first and the highest skyscraper in Kyiv, which was called Ginsburg House. But during the Second World War in 1941, it was blown up into the air, not even by Nazi troops that occupied Kyiv, but by the Soviet troops that were retreating from Kyiv. So that place has a lot of history in itself. Yeah, that's true. Okay, I want to go again, Opera House, Central one. Yes, Opera House is great here. Sports Club 2. Okay, yeah, sports clubs will be reopen starting from tomorrow. Stas Kedrov, приветик всем. That is my father. He said hello to everyone. Привет, papa. I'm glad that you are watching me. 11 Mirrors Hotel is much better. Yeah, I've heard good reviews about this hotel. USA 2, you cannot board flight to US without PCR test within 72 hours. Okay, thank you for this information, Edward. And by the way, I know that Amsterdam airport, that is like the transit airport for many countries, they demand to have a PCR test result as well. So if you are coming from the US, for example, and you have transit in Amsterdam, you will have to show there the PCR test result, and then in Ukraine. Okay, don't stay at Hotel Ukraine if you want a Soviet Union room. Well, it is quite Soviet, but many places in Ukraine are quite Soviet. Ukraine is a post-Soviet country. For example, Turkish Airlines need PCR test result as well. Okay, is it possible to visit Yalta? Yalta is situated in Crimea, which is the occupied territory by the Russia right now. If you visit it not using Ukrainian checkpoint, but using through the Russian checkpoint, after this they will not let you into Ukraine. Yes, because that is like offense. So be aware of this. Anyway, if you want to visit Crimea legally, you need like some permission, and you need to have a travel insurance. Okay. New COVID cases observed in Kyiv in 24 hours, 240. Okay, Sam, I didn't check this number, how many cases per day we are having. Yeah, but they say that this lockdown that we had just in January, it helped to hit the wave of COVID. That thanks to this lockdown, now we have much less cases than we expected to have, and the situation is normalized. Thanks for putting me into Legal Ideas law firm. He is very good. Okay, you're welcome. Yeah, so Legal Ideas law firm. Why I know this? I just met an immigration lawyer, Sergey Alexandrov. Maybe he's even watching me, and I liked the way he works a lot. So I'm not immigration lawyer myself, but many people asking me questions about visas, residence permits, all that. So I'm just giving you the context of Sergey because he is a cool expert in this. And you can, there are some interviews with him here on YouTube. So if you have these questions about immigration, you can ask him. And by the way, I'm thinking about doing interview with Sergey like online, like in this like live stream. Yeah, so you can ask your questions and he will give you the answers like immediately. What was the point of lockdown? Lol, cases will rise again soon. Sam, they say this lockdown helped, that if not lockdown, we would have the situation much, much worse. It's very complicated to check. Yeah, but this is what they say. What do the visitors from Green Zone need to enter Ukraine? Okay, as promised then, how to enter Ukraine? Yes, first of all, if you are a foreigner, you need to have a travel insurance, no matter from which country you are coming, okay? The best way is to buy this travel insurance online. This insurance has to cover your possible COVID treatment in Ukraine, yes? The best way to buy this online insurance, I recommend to go to the website Visit Ukraine, which is made by a very respected colleague of mine, Anton Taranenko, and there you can buy insurance, okay, which will guarantee that they will let you into Ukraine. Now, you have to check, are you coming from the green country or from the red zone country? The green and red zone countries. This list is made by the Health Ministry of Ukraine and it is published once per week, each Friday approximately. I publish the list on my Facebook page. So if you want to know, go to my Facebook page and you will see the link. If you are from the green zone country, you need only this travel insurance. That's it. You just come to Ukraine. But of course, check what demands your own country has. Will it be easy for you to come back from Ukraine to your country? Check if the airlines demand to have this PCR test result when you board on the airplane. For example, if you go through the Amsterdam, they will demand you the PCR test. But in Ukraine, at the border of Ukraine, you need only, this travel insurance. That's all. Now, if you are coming from the red zone country, you need to have PCR tests. So green zone country, travel insurance only, red zone country, travel insurance and PCR test. Is it possible to come without PCR test? Yes, it is. But if you come without PCR test result, you are requested to go to self-isolation. So when you arrive, you will have to download the mobile application DivDoma only after you arrive in Ukraine. Because after you download this application, you will be given 24 hours to get to the place of self-isolation. You show to the border guards that you downloaded this DivDoma application. So right now they say that you can download it using your foreign mobile number, but I've heard from the real visitors that it doesn't work. So in fact you need a Ukrainian SIM card to download this mobile application, but you can buy this SIM card only after you cross the border. So that is the conflict. In many cases the border guards will give you just a SIM card. In some cases, they will say, okay, just after crossing the border, go and buy the SIM card. and register in this mobile application. There were no cases when the person was sent back home because he didn't have a SIM card. Yeah, that's never happened. At least I don't know about such cases. Okay, then you cross the border. Recommended to make the PCR test just over there at the airport Boryspil. That is the fastest and most convenient way. So you made the test, you provided your Ukrainian phone number to the laboratory. Yes, you downloaded the program which controls your self-isolation. You have 24 hours to get to your hotel. After you get there, you register in this program saying that yes, I am now in the place of self-isolation, and you wait till the laboratory makes the PCR test result and you will receive it, hopefully negative. They will send it to the Ministry of Digitalization of Ukraine, and they will exclude you from self-isolation in the mobile application, and that takes time. Sometimes it is just one day, sometimes it is a couple of days, like 2-3 days, especially if you arrive on Friday, maybe you will be released on Monday. So it depends on how much time do you have, can you afford spending 3 times in the hotel, or it depends on how much money you have. Yet still the easiest way is just to make a PCR test before you come if you are from the red zone country. I hope that information was comprehensive enough. So I have many videos on the YouTube where I cover all these questions, and I hope you will find these videos and they will be useful. Okay, Simon, when I booked my flights to Ukraine in December, they included the required insurance automatically, but it's best to double check to avoid problems. Okay, why we can't donate with Super Chat? Oh, I don't know. David, thank you for this question. Well, I'm always happy when people are donating to my YouTube because I need some money to develop this YouTube channel. I have a Patreon account, so if you feel like you can go over there. Well, I will check this super chat if you think it's a good idea. I will check it. The illegal open bars and dance clubs will cover your phone camera before they allow you in. Teacups tells. Okay, thank you for useful information. So I can't go there to film it for my YouTube channel. Okay. Hello, nice video. So is lockdown finished or still continue? I want to register the company and get the residence. So is visa and immigration open? Well, all these visa, immigration and so on offices, legal offices, they were open even during the lockdown, and the immigration lawyers had been working even during the lockdown. And I think even if we're gonna have another lockdown soon, which will not be complete lockdown like you guys had in France or in Germany or in the UK, because we are the country of the free people, let's say, these offices, they will be working. I think so. And I think they will not close the borders anymore unless the situation suddenly gets much, much worse all over the world. Like this. Some new mutations, people becoming zombies, people massively dying out, apocalypse is coming, but I hope it is not coming, and the situation will just get better and better little by little. This is the plan. Olena, kindly share the number of the lady you talked about. Okay, send me a private message. I will give you her number. Okay. Hello, Miss Anand. Hello, Mr. Andrei Levchenko. Very nice to see you here. I'm very glad that you subscribed to my channel. Okay, Super Chat is only available once a channel reaches certain goals. Yes, it is a good way to get donations, but YouTube takes a bigger cut than Patreon, so best to donate via Patreon. Okay, thank you, Simon, for your useful information. Is Euro-Ins good for travel insurance? How about spare Krona, Vuso, Acta? I'm not sure about this, guys. I don't really know which travel insurance is better, so I'm not ready to give you the answer on this question, sorry. Okay. Need 1,000 subscribers. Okay. No. Okay. Super channel not working in Ukraine. Oh, Tidelia knows it because you wanted. Okay. Guys, if anybody wants to donate, you are welcome to do it on Patreon. If you are just watching my channel, that is already a very big support, because that is the reason why I am doing the work that I am enjoying. Visit Ukraine offers very cheap insurance. Yes, this is what I think, and they are good insurance. Okay. Okay. I was surprised the airport in Kyiv didn't ask for the Kovid test results back in October, but I did the test at the airport anyway. Okay, you were lucky. You were lucky in this case. I mean, if you are from the green zone countries, they don't demand the PCR test result. But if you are from the red zone, they should demand it. Do a graphic artist get a high chance to see work in Ukraine? Graphic artist? Not sure. I don't know. I'm sorry. In general, as for the foreigners who are seeking for some work in Ukraine, so this is not my topic, not my competence, but I just, talk to the lawyer. This is why I know this. So if you are a foreigner and you want to come to Ukraine and you hope to become, to get the work here, you will get this work legally only if you are like a very cool expert, a very cool specialist, or you have this unique knowledge. For example, you are a native speaker and you have this beautiful English. Yeah, and some private school will hire you to teach English, because we have some rich people, the rich people have rich kids, and they want to have a very good English. So you go to the private school, you get very good salary and all that. But I mean, work like for immigration, I don't know, like being a driver, for example, like this, it's complicated, because according to the Ukrainian law, the company needs to pay very high taxes if it officially hires a foreigner to work. And the salary that this company needs officially to pay this foreign person, the salary should be very high, and the taxes should be very high as well. So that is why if you are like let's say coming from a poor country where you can't find the work, and you come to Ukraine hoping that here you will find a job, well, Ukraine is a poor country as well, basically. Yeah, and many people don't have work here as well. Yeah, so it's not like European Union. If you're looking for some illegal work, well, maybe you will find it, I'm not sure. But the language barrier is very serious, because very few people here speak English. So that's a problem. Okay, but if you are a foreigner who wants to launch business, official business here, that is possible. So you can become your own director and pay salary to yourself and pay taxes from your own salary. That is easier. So that is a very popular thing, and it's very easy to do, to open and register your own company here. And when you do it, you can get this work permit in Ukraine, and these legal companies, they are providing this kind of services. Okay, guys, do you have any more questions that I can give you the answers? Because I think I already said everything I wanted to. Like some questions that I received before. Mark from Philippines, when will the border open for foreigners? Well, as I said, they are open already. Amin from Kyiv, will there be lockdown again in the near future? I don't know. Nobody knows. Hopefully not. Is Ukraine going to be normal like it was before quarantine and the pandemic? No. I think the world will not become normal anymore. We will all live in the post-pandemic world, and we have to adapt to this new reality. Travel Z, do you know the restaurants will be open during the night? You've got the answer already. Yes, and will this lockdown be extended? No, the lockdown is over. Today is the last day of this lockdown, and started from tomorrow, we have this new orange zone rules in Ukraine. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that was useful. I enjoyed this talk, this conversation with you very much. I was very happy to see you here, especially these people that I already know all in person and almost in person, like Andrei, Simon, Mr. Smith, yeah, Edward, Tidarian, Steve, yeah, Black Studio. Guys, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for watching this channel. If you are thinking about some new questions, you're welcome to put these questions in the comments. And I hope to see you one day in Ukraine. Yes, you are welcome to hire me as your tour guide in Kyiv. You're welcome to hire me for a trip to Chernobyl. Chernobyl exclusion zone, by the way, it is almost always open because it is not a tourist attraction officially. That is the place of the nuclear disaster that you can visit for educational purposes. Have a great evening too. Thank you very much for your attention. Goodbye. How to end this? Okay. Goodbye, guys. Goodbye.